Hello, everyone. Good morning. I hope you guys are ready for an exciting announcement, because we are. And by we, I mean the three founders of Pixplit. So my name is Jay. I'm co-founder and CEO. Together with me here is Adi Binder, our very talented head of product and design. And Nir Nino is in the crowd. He's our CTO. We've been working on something really exciting, bringing a lot of experience that we have from consumer websites and mobile applications and cooking something really cool. So I hope you like it. So on the App Store today, there are more than 12,900 photography applications. Guess what? We're adding one more today. But this one is the only one that lets you create images together with your friends. We're talking about creative collaboration, something that has never been done before. So guys, I want to introduce you to Pixplit. So what's a split? And what's Pixplit? So here's a split. Unlike every other photography app that you take a photo, you upload it, and all your followers see a complete photo, in Pixplit, you just take part of a photo and upload it to your stream. And all of our followers now can become contributors and add their other association to that creative artwork. So here's an example from our very close beta of 200 users. So Mike took a photo in New York, and Natalie, it sparked something in her mind, and that's what she came up with. As you can see, it's a visual dialogue. It's a story using visuals. So like I said, we had a very small beta group of 200 users, and we were shocked by the results. I mean, users have created so many creative things. Here's an example of 3 users, one in London, one in New York, one in Milano. Each one has their own point of view of what the subway is, or metro, or underground. And that's the result. Users are expressing their emotions using Pixplit. These are all actual photos that our users have created. Nothing here is photoshopped. People are trying to be architects for a day. Here's Ido, together with Maya, blending a tower in Tel Aviv, that's Dizengoff Tower, together with a tower in New York. And that's the result. And so Pixplit gives users an opportunity to create all sorts of creative things. They can be artistic, they can express emotions, they can tell story and have a visual dialogue. So after we saw how it looks like in some of these examples, let's see the app. So here's our main menu, and like I said before, in Pixplit, we also have a feed, but unlike other apps, our feed has 2 different sections. The first one, as you can see in the bottom right, is called Completed. And it shows all the completed splits that the people I follow and their friends have created. And just like other applications, I can like, I can comment, join a conversation. I can see detailed information, which user created which part. So Adi, for instance, uploaded this StartTWS banner, and Eleanor added hair variation to it. And then I can check out other splits that Adi has created. And I can decide. In this case, I follow him, but I can see all of the other splits that he has created. So that was completed, and that's user profile. Now let's go back to the other part of the feed. Like I said, we have 2 parts of the feed. The other part of the feed is called the playground. And the playground is actually where all the fun happens. The playground displays all the non-completed splits that the people I follow have created. And then, within a single tap of a button, I can just take my photo and complete the visual dialogue, complete the story with what it means to me. Apply a filter, of course. We support a variety of them. Decide if I want to share it to a social network, add meta information, upload it to our network, and that's it. I'm done. My followers will get this in their completed feed, like I showed you before, and then they'll be able, here the Wi-Fi is kind of slow, hopefully this will be over soon, my followers will complete it. So what I just did was become an active creator. Adi, can you switch back? And why is that important? Because it's a known fact that on every social network, about 10% and sometimes even less of the users are actually content creators. Most of us are couch potatoes. We sit and we browse through the feed and we watch videos and we read tweets, but we don't create, because creating new content is often very, very difficult. You need to have this creative thought in your head before you take out the camera and take a video, or shoot or snap a photo, or write a tweet. And what we do at Pixplit is allow these passive content creators get ideas from others, become participants, and by that, we're going to take this 90% and shift them into the active creators section. And that's very powerful, because eventually a creative network is valued by the amount of content that is created, by the number of engaged users that are part of this network. And that's why we believe that we're bringing something very unique into this industry. So that's Pixplit in a nutshell. It's a creative collaboration network where friends and the other members of the community can create images together in a single frame and express their emotions, tell stories, have a visual dialogue. And like I said, it has never been done before, and we're doing it. So Pixplit is live starting from today on the App Store. If you have an iPhone, go get it. Android users, we didn't forget you. We're working on the Android version. We hope that in a few months it will be released. And last thing, if you're a brilliant software engineer and you want to join a team that's going to make it really, really big, because we're on something really unique, come talk to us. We're up there. Thank you.
Any thoughts about revenue?
Yeah, sure. So eventually we're going to target, our first goal, of course, is to get to a critical mass of enough users. But what's interesting about Pixplit is that it's the first social media medium that creates a deep engagement between a brand, a celebrity, someone, and the users. Because the current forms of social media engagement are a like, a retweet, or maybe a mention on Twitter. That's pretty much it. That's what brands do when they run social media campaigns. They count the number of likes. But now imagine, and we've ran searches on Instagram for hashtag Nike, for instance. We get 9 million results. So users have this tendency of uploading photos and creating things with the product that they like, with the brand that they like. This gives brands an opportunity to foster a really deep connection between them and the users, and have a campaign that's built from part of the brand, product, message, whatever, and the other part will be populated by the users who feel very attached to it.
So the revenue is going to be from brand owners that are going to sponsor the activity.
Correct.
And pay for that. So what about copyrights of the actual photos being made? Have you thought about that?
Yes. So if any of these photos or part of the splits are copyright protected, of course, users can complain to us and we'll take it off. But the idea is just like most user-generated content networks, users take their photo, express their point of view. There's no point of just running a Google search, grabbing a photo and creating a split or a collage with it. The idea is actually to let individuals express their thoughts, feeling, whatever, in a split. And so most of these images will be user-generated images.
Last question, because your answers are popping up more questions for me. I'm sorry.
I'm glad.
What about using the users as affiliates and getting them part of the revenue as well, getting them being more creative?
Correct. That's another thing on our mind, because as you saw, some of these users have created really beautiful artworks, and we want to allow people later on to print those and distribute those to stock photography applications, and the contributors, the creators, will be credited for that, and we'll kind of sign them up as creators or affiliates, and we'll pay some of the revenue back to them.
So first, it's beautiful, and I think there's lots of communities that do that offline. Lomography with their doubles, etc. So there is a niche need for that. You decided to go sort of the hard way, meaning you're going all the way. You're creating a platform and a new social network from scratch. And I know you know very well what it means. And you've chosen not to do the easier thing, sort of create an app that lets you do that on top of Instagram, Facebook, etc. Which could have been also a revenue-generating venue. So I'm interested in the thought process that led you to go the really hard way.
So we're actually, you can get your images, the images that you have previously uploaded to Facebook or to Instagram, you can import them and use those while creating a split. So in a way, we're kind of riding on the content that you already created and distributed to one network, but now you can do something different with it, together with people. But going all the way, technically, creating a split, and what I just showed you is a 2-part split. There are also 3- and 4-part splits. Technically, just taking a photo and then creating all the permutation out of it requires a completely different infrastructure than just saying, here's the photo, upload it, and that's it. It's done. In our case, this split is actually going to be the parent of more splits, and then the grandparent of potentially more splits. And so we had to develop an infrastructure, basically, and a back end, as well as a client. The entire thought process had to be something completely different because this is something, like I said, completely different.
Also, are you serious about splitting revenues with the users? Is that just one of the answers that you give investors that want to hear a yes?
No, I mean some of these, again, it depends on, because I've, as a long-time blogger, I tried to make money out of blogging and realized you can't really do that. But we're definitely open for that. If users are creating something that eventually will sell to others, sure, they'll be credited for that. Not the entire 100%, but they'll get a share.
Even though that's probably very likely to reduce the number of creations by a factor at least. Because people will do it for a buck and not for love, which is what moves them.
That's why I said it's kind of a long-term potential monetization opportunity for us. And I can answer before. Our main business model is actually to go to the advertisers, to the brands. But that's something we're still considering.
Okay. So you mentioned correctly that you're going to need some critical mass of...
I can't hear you.
You mentioned that you're going to need a critical mass of content creators. So who do you think are going to be the first passionate users, and where do you find them?
So first of all, the way we ran our beta is we invited 50 friends, and then we kind of know how it is when you launch a product to friends. They don't really tell you the truth. So we opened it for a few hours on the Israeli App Store. So most of this content that you saw was actually created from just random users that like photography. And that's our kind of early adopters. So communities of art students, photographers, creative people, basically, that can plant a lot of these creative seeds. And once someone will see a split, 2-part, 3-part, that sparks his imagination, we know that it's going to do something to the others, and they'll contribute, and then it's kind of all the balls. But so our early adopters are probably less the kind of tech communities, but more the art, photography ones.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was Pixplit.
Thank you.
I just noticed also that we had a mix-up with the judge.